Oh my God, live and worldwide. With the Fancy Action Now, this is LVO Toro, Fancy Action Now. We're live on the interwebs to discuss some other internet BS, which is the G4 meltdown and lecture that we all received. One of the things of living in this day and age that I have come to understand is part of like government schools and private schools and the school system that we have in the United States. It's like from the very earliest time, it's lectures and lectures upon lectures, lectures for how you act, lectures for what you think, lectures for how you behave, lectures on what history is and what it isn't. And it's like, as a person, like as a free thinking, logical person, I personally couldn't wait to get out of like the high school and elementary school. And it's like I enjoyed myself and I had friends and I had a good time and all that, and I learned some things. I couldn't tell you what I got out of it, as far as, you know, there's a lot about obedience and you're lectured constantly, and it's like you're beaten down with like lectures on what you do and what you don't do and why do you think like that, and this is how you should think, and you know this is how you should behave, and this is how you can be successful, to the exclusion of all other ways of being successful, by the way. You know, school is very much, well, you just keep going to school and you will become successful. Like we have the monopoly on becoming successful, and it's called school. And when I see stuff like this, on about G4, when I see stuff like this about G4, I'm like, another freaking lecture. Like that's why I have a hashtag on there, stop lecturing me. At what time can I plant a flag, say I'm an adult, I'm going to choose what I want. I'm going to think what I want. I'm not a violent person. I'm not a criminal. I'm an adult that wants to exercise my adult authority in this world. I've been a child. I've sat in the desk. I've done what I'm told. I've completed the program. I would like to go live my life. And that's the problem. That's the problem. I'm going all the way back to the beginning. That's why nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to talk about going all the way back to the beginning about why this stuff takes place. Why you're still being lectured to. Like a sheepdog barking at sheep to keep them in line. This is like gamers, get in line, sit down. Stand in line. Be quiet. Go to the lunchroom. Eat your food. Get up. Go to class. I mean, day after day after day. When do I get to say, I have a hobby, I enjoy my hobby, I like watching commentary around my hobby that's about the hobby, not about who I am and what I think and what I should think and what I shouldn't think, and who I find attractive and who I don't find attractive. That's the other thing too. Who is this person who is not a friend or a family member, who is barely a celebrity, if that even matters? It does to some people, it doesn't to me. You're just somebody lecturing me that I don't even know. I mean, if I saw you on the street, I'd run the other way. I mean, I want to avoid people like you. You're not, and again, this, and everybody's like, oh, G4 is doomed immediately. Yes, but what was the purpose? Was there a genuine purpose to relaunch G4? Or was it just another opportunity to lecture gamers on what they like and what they don't like and don't want, etc., etc.? Okay? It is laughable. You're not relevant. G4, you were barely even on the radar in your heyday. You were right up there with in like, you know, right up there with the rest of the shills that I barely paid attention to as a gamer. I've been a lifelong gamer. I got dozens of game systems, thousands of games. Okay. I do a channel. I have gamer friends. Shout out to the Fata Keen. Okay. I'm like listening to this nonsense I'm like, who are you lecturing? Who are you lecturing? Why are you lecturing me about who you are and how you look? What has that got to do about video games? Oh, and excuse me, check out every single news outlet, and they have handsome men and attractive women on their newscasts. With a few exceptions that they've tried to integrate people with a different aesthetic standard, let's call it. Okay? That's because most people are average looking folk. And again, it's nice and validating to some people to be able to watch an attractive person do a presentation of information. It makes it a little bit more pleasant. And you know what? If you got a bunch of young men that, again, is it illegal to have a hormonal drive? Okay? And young women say the same things that young men do. Young men typically, this is not absolute, of course, it doesn't apply to everybody. Young women talk about good-looking, attractive men and women, and young men talk about good-looking, attractive women and men, and they have off-color ways of talking about that, or sly, funny ways of saying, oh, you're smoky, you're spicy, you're salty, you're this, you're that. I mean, remember Jennifer's Body where she's like, he's salty. Salty. Again, females do the exact same behaviors. To assume that only men do that is gender biased. Okay? Do you think female gamers that watch a show where they find a man, let's say it's a man, let's say they find a man attractive, that they're not going to go over they're going to look over at their girlfriend sitting next to him and go, yeah, I'm crushing on that girl. Is that sexist? Is that man supposed to be offended by that? I mean, the double standard. This woman is this person on G4 TV is a poster child for double standard and making somebody feel bad for their natural inclination. And it's like, if some guy goes, oh, wow, she's doable. Oh, a young female might say the same thing about a female or a male. I've heard it. And again, it's like, come on, man. Creating division where it doesn't belong. Oh, and here's the thing. I'm going to let me see if I can pull this, and I'm going to throw this out here. Let me see if I can find, let's see, we're going to put in here. Oh, okay. I don't know if I was able to, was it desktop? I created this video and now I don't see it. And I'm like, oh my God, mommy, mama. Let's see. Let me put in. See if I can find it. Dude, I like just did this video and now I don't see it. Let me go back here. I'm gonna do MP4. Yikes. Oh, there it is. See if I can pull this in here. There you go. Video games are the most organically diverse. Let me play that again. Video games are the most organically diverse medium ever created in the history of humanity. Okay? I was looking back at some of my Genesis titles. We did a box art battle, Philberto78. Check his channel. Give him a sub. His ego needs it. This man craves attention. So, I was looking through my Sega Genesis collection from the late 80s, early 90s. Okie dokie smoky artichoke. And I was marveling at how much just organic diversity and how empowered female protagonists were represented back then. Valis. There is just one of them, and there's several Valis games on the system. And El Viento, that has a female protag. Burning Force. We were talking about Burning Force, female protagonist. See, I was going through my Genesis title, and I'm like, wow, female protag, female protag, female protag. Troubleshooter, 2 female protags. Nary a fella to be found. Alicia Dragoon, female protag. I mean, Maria, again, I brought up Maria from Castlevania, an unlockable character that's like notoriously OP. She's the one you want to unlock and just like wreck the game. I mean, Alicia Dragoon. I mean, there's so many. I mean, I should have gone through my collection and brought them in here, but there are so many. I haven't done a stand-up in a while. It feels pretty good. There are so many female protags in the Genesis Super Nintendo era. I mean, iconic games that we as gamers, and it was dominated by males back in that day. So you're talking about like 90%, 89% of users of that media were, and there's all kinds of racial diversity as well. If you're into racial diversity, if you want to focus on that, go back to the Genesis era. I mean, one of the most popular combatants in Mortal Kombat, Jax. God, he was also given augmentation because he had lost limbs. African American. I mean, just go into the games, and that's the thing. This is what this person doesn't do. Has this person gone into like the collections and the eras of games and said, okay, let me see. You might be surprised. No, they don't do that. They just lecture you. They make assumptions about what your thoughts are, and they diminish and insult your natural instinct. There are young men in general that are attracted to females. And there are certain aspects of females that men find attractive. It's called biology. Have a nice day. And to say that your natural biology is somehow a crime and an insult to other people is ridiculous. And I'm talking from the female side too. There are females out there in the world, shock horror, that find men attractive. And there are certain aspects of men that they find attractive. Height is one of them. I mean, height is one of the defining factors of female attractiveness. If you're not a certain height, you're written off for a lot of women. Now, is that something that you want to blame women for because they have a proclivity or a bias toward taller men? I don't. And I'm not essentially a super tall guy. I'm not a super short guy either. I'm like 5'10". 5'10", soaking wet. I'm not the 6 foot, ideal. I'm 5'10". I'm 2 inches short, baby. Sounds like my life. All right. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like, look, man. First of all, and here you go again. This is I don't want to rant too long on this. Contempt for the viewer. Most of the people to this day that consume video games, and we're talking console, PC, the majority, not all, but the majority are men. Like 18 to 40 or 18 to 35 or whatever it is your demographic is. Because nowadays, I mean, you could say even 15 to 45. That's like a double demographic of men that play video games. Because again, they satisfy that urge of accomplishment. You want to accomplish things. That's why men are drawn to it. They're more analytical. You learn the moves, you learn the game, and you use your analytical ability and you become better. You get good. And, that is validating to young men and men in general. I'm living proof of it. I love it. That's where achievements come from. It plays right into the psychology of, I killed 100 dudes, or, I got 20 headshots, or, et cetera, et cetera. All right. And a lot of females play video games, but they play more casual games. That, again, that's it's not me trying to broad brush. That's just the trend of behavior. Yes, of course, there are outliers. There are hardcore female Call of Duty or Battlefield or, whatever you want to call it. Hardcore no-scopers. 360 no-scopers, baby. Hardcore. I mean, and I recognize that and I celebrate that. I love that. The hobby is open to everyone. See, when you play a video game, you can go online anonymously. You can have a masculine name or a neutral name or a feminine name or just a series of characters, not even a name. You can go and play anonymously. You can be part of things. You can join groups and forums. You can start forums and groups and discords, and it's open to everyone across the globe. Let me play this one more time. Video games are the most organically diverse medium ever created in the history of humanity. Every race, alien, creed, color, you name it, is represented in video games all across the medium from every generation. Why you want to sit there trying to breathe life into a milquetoast platform that was barely relevant to begin with, and focus on how your customer base sucks, how you hold the viewers in contempt? And again, I think this is purposeful now. I mean, everybody knows you do not tell the customer not to consume your product. And here we have another thing, again, where I wonder half the time, did they revitalize or try to revitalize this network just so this termagant can lecture the viewers on how shit they are? I mean, is it just social engineering? What is it? I mean, why would you even do it? Why would you even do that? Why would you even allow this person to have that freaking rant? Don't hold the viewers in contempt. And you know what? If you're on TV or you're on the internet as a personality and people find you attractive and or not attractive, or people want to say what their opinion is about you, you put yourself out there. If I go on this show and they say, who's this bald, fat, old dude? Who's this guy? People are entitled to do it. People have opinions, whether they're good, bad, boorish, obnoxious, or otherwise. Again, you're free to say what you wish. Why would we want to compromise that? Why would we want to do that? Because when it flips around and you're the one who wants to make a comment going, Jesus, who is this? What is on their mind? Like I'm doing. You don't want to be censored. You also don't want to be labeled. And that's the thing. I think we're all tired of the lectures and the labels. We're all tired of the lectures and the label, and we're rejecting them. With EA, with Battlefield 5, with Mass Effect Andromeda, with how we suck, how the customer sucks, because we don't want to be freaking lectured and labeled. We don't want to be lectured and labeled. And video games, and again, Sarkeesian, I mean, she's trying to be the new Sarkeesian. Sarkeesian tried this shit and failed hard. Get woke, go broke, man. And it's not respecting diverse people. It's not a process of discrimination of any kind, because video games, pardon me, video games are the most organically diverse medium ever created in the history of humanity. So it's open to everybody. If you got a console and an internet connection, you can get online, or a computer and an internet connection, you can get online and play. Even if you're playing a retro console with no internet connection, you can play in the comfort of your own home or wherever you live, in your converted van, your stealth mini home, or whatever it is you want. You can live how you want. You can engage with video games on whatever level you would like. There is no gate of entry other than the equipment itself. Nobody is excluded. No one. And if you go back into the history of video games, from the very beginning, to the where you had the explosion of the Genesis and the Super Nintendo, right? Completely diverse. More representative and diverse than any other medium ever created, without the government or activism or anything. It never required it. Think about it. Resident Evil, Claire Redfield, Jill Valentine, Ada Wong. I mean, what do you want? I mean, it is the most diverse medium ever created. It does not need lectures from this telling us how we suck. Oh, and if you don't want to watch it, don't. Well, guess what? Nobody was going to watch it anyway. And I think that's why they came out here with this platform, to use it as, again, another opportunity to belittle gamers in general and men specifically. We are tired of the lectures and the labels, and we don't need them. Gamers and gaming is the most organically diverse medium, hobby, pursuit in human history. We don't need your lectures. We don't want your contempt. And we reject your labels. This is Fancy Action Now. I've been your host, Elvio Toro. Peace